Hello, everyone, and we are live once again on the Viking Media Network YouTube channel, recapping night 2 of WrestleMania, going down live from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Keila Cash, and by my side, as always, is not my co-captain, not my right hand, not Perky Scott Young. He is out of town tonight with the family, celebrating Easter. Happy Easter to those who celebrate, and 420 Day, by the way, for those who like to light it up on this very special day as well. But tonight, pulling double duty, she was daylighting as a power bombshell by day with Sam on YouTube, and then by night, she comes through in the clutch at 11:17 p.m. Eastern to recap night 2 of WrestleMania, the Superior Night. I bring to you back on the wrap for the first time ever, Mel Gray. Welcome, Mel.
Thank you. I realized that too earlier. I was like, I don't think I've ever been on the wrap before. That's so cool. Thank you for the nice welcome. It has been a wonderful it's a chance for me to get to give back to my dear friend, the official broad, Keila Cash here, who helped Sam and I out a ton. So, and I did get the Superior Night, so I lucked out. I mean, I was watching just on the one night, but you know, I think Scott was happier last night.
I think he was happier. He was happier than me. I was like, good for you. I don't share your sentiment, but I'm looking forward to tonight's show. And yeah, this is Mel's first time being on the wrap. I've been on Powerbombshells during a show with Mel before, so I misspoke. So she is here on this show. First time ever, but it's like the ultimate broad crossover event because Sam has done the wrap a couple of times over the last month or so, and now Mel gets to jump in for the first time as well. So let's dive into it right now as we have people in the comment section already lining things up on 420. Fernando, happy 420 each Sunday, wrestling fans. And then he notes history has officially been made. Cena breaks the all-time record for world championships. Congratulations. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Maria. And hello to Lady B, who says Becky and Seth's daughter is selling the show at the presser right now. She is absolutely freaking adorable. And like, how can we justify Seth being a heel when you have this adorable kid out here selling the show? Very, very funny. And then Maria notes night 2 was way better than night 1. Totally agree. So I am watching the presser on mute right now, and this little girl is the cutest. Oh my goodness. Adorable.
I love that. I mean, I can't see her, but I can attest to having the kids of wrestlers do their wrestling thing, and it's very wonderful. Often the apples don't fall far from the trees in this business is what I find with the youngins. They're very adorable.
It is the best. And she's selling the show right now. So this is beyond adorable and cute. And like, they're going to play this back in 18 years and say, Rue, this was you as you're starting your journey towards being a professional wrestler. This was you at this presser at all of 4, the cutest.
It makes sense though, because she is Becky's kid. Like,
yes.
I mean, the charisma's there already. And I mean, yeah, she takes after her mom. I mean, no offense to Seth, and I know people love Seth, but I think that, that's mommy's charm because the Irish are especially charming.
Yes, love that. So I'll tune it up and replay it later tonight and see what Rue is saying, but cute. But let's dive into night 2 of WrestleMania. And before we dive into the match order itself, so Mel, you saw night 1 of WrestleMania. So since you thought like night 2 was superior, great choice, by the way. What did you think about the first night of WrestleMania last night?
I thought, as not regularly watching, but I have watched a lot of Manias recently. I would say that it was not that great. It felt pretty lukewarm. I was very mid. We were whelmed is what we ended up saying at the end of the night. There were a couple of good things, but overall it just felt like a kind of an overbooked Raw, which is saying something in and of itself, kind of, but it didn't hit with me the same way. The one thing I took away from it though was I could tell that there were matches that were clearly fan favorites and there were clearly things that people were walking away from happy. It just wasn't for me. It was easy to drift off night 1. Whereas tonight I felt actually invested in the matches. We'll get into the matches, but I felt more invested in night 2. And again, with having zero perspective on like one card being better than the other, it just turned out that the second night was the better showing. If they had spread out the good wrestling over both nights, they probably would have had a little bit better situation going.
I definitely agree. I felt like night 1, as I looked at the card more extensively, I felt like, you know what? This feels like a very nice episode of Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, or a SmackDown after WrestleMania, with a few WrestleMania worthy matches worthy of being on this card. And as the day wore on, I kind of felt like night 2 was going to be the better show. And I was right. Now, granted, I think the show did run out of steam towards the end in terms of the booking, a couple of matches that did not quite live up to expectations. But I thought overall the energy of the crowd was better for night 2. The matches, for the most part, was better for night 2. And a couple of predictions I had in the can for like a couple of years now definitely came to fruition, which I'm very happy about. But let's dive into, as we talked about last night as well, the set. So Mel, I know that you take time out to watch WrestleMania at least this time of year. Your one probably major WWE show that you watch, possibly outside of the Royal Rumble. So outside of that, what did you think about the WrestleMania set for 2025?
I thought they did a pretty good job with it, actually. I thought that overall, like, it wasn't a production thing in any way. I mean, they always deliver on their production. They always will. They always have. They always have a good theme song that they have, that they super brand it with. Just don't ask me about WrestleMania 19, please. I beg of you. That song will never get out of my head permanently. But they do that, and they do a good job of it. And I liked the branding. I thought they maximized the Vegas thing. They lean into the branding with the Vegas look. And I mean, they are the best at that stuff still. That's their thing. They will always excel at that. So, I mean, it delivered on the looks like a Mania show. I mean, checked all the boxes.
Listen, WrestleMania 40 set was definitely kind of mild. Nothing can top the midness of that video wall from New Jersey back in 2019. Like, that is like the apex of horrible WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 35 either.
Listen, from the show ending at midnight to people not being able to get on the bus back to their hotels, it was a night. And we don't want to relive that again. That is why we have 2 nights of WrestleMania right now. And if people want to complain about it, like, my condolences. I would have 2 nights versus watching one long ass 14 card 8-hour show.
I cannot disagree with this. We call it escape from. We were there. Those are the 2 WrestleManias I went to. Were 19 in Seattle, which was nice and easy because that was home for me, and 35, which, well, just F that night. That's all I can say. We call it escape from WrestleMania 35. So yes, that's our experience. And that's notwithstanding the card. That's just the entire experience was an experience.
A true end of an era of what WrestleMania was at that particular show. Yeah. And it was probably for the better. And I have to say, I agree, because I did not like the fact that WrestleMania was rolling into the next day. That was too much for me. And I'm glad to have my 2 days where I can relax, enjoy the show, and end things at a reasonable hour to start my workday the following day. But without further ado, let's dive into night 2 of WrestleMania officially with the opening match, which was the triple threat match involving the Women's World Champion Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And I said this with my whole chest about a month ago, that this match was a WrestleMania main event worthy bout that deserved to headline. Night 1 preferably would have been my choice. It was not going to main event night 2. But if I had my choice, CM Punk and Seth Rollins had their say, this match would have been the main event. And they went out there and wrestled like they were worthy of being in a main event of WrestleMania. Everything about this match was perfection. Rhea, Bianca, and Io have this amazing chemistry. Everything was laid out beautifully. The action, the intensity, the near falls, the creativity down the stretch, and the story of Io being dismissed constantly by Bianca and Rhea, and how she asserted herself throughout this match to not be the forgotten third person, that she was no one's third wheel, that she was no one's passerby in this match. But what I loved was actually the intensity between Bianca and Rhea. And I talked about Charlotte and Tiffany the night before, and the one thing I was missing was the emotion, like the weight of like, why are you fighting? Why should I care as a fan? And for those glimpses of when Bianca and Rhea was going at it, you felt it. When Bianca said, I work harder than you. I do this more than you do. I earn my spot. What about you? They were slapping. They were calling each other's names. It was physical. It was grimy. It was bruising. I loved it. And it's a glimpse of, if they bring back Evolution sometime this summer, this match, whatever it's going to be, should headline it. But ultimately, when Bianca Belair did the hair whip to Rhea Ripley, hit the KOD, only for Io to hit the moonsault to pin Bianca Belair. Perfect ending. The shock on Io's face was everything. This match was perfect, but I think long-term, the money, the main event that WWE needs to invest in is clearly Rhea versus Bianca. Put them in a cage, Hell in a Cell, do whatever you must do. They need to headline a show this year for a title or not, because that is money right there for sure.
Then just the pop alone that Rhea got. If you have like not popped in a while, it's whoa. I mean, and match of the night, I dare say match of the weekend for WWE. I didn't see the NXT show, so I can't speak to every WWE thing that went on this weekend that was televised, but this was a really, really fun match. I was like, hey, these guys can wrestle. There's actually wrestling on here. I can't reiterate what you said. It's just, you really nailed everything. I felt like everybody played their part. I just didn't understand. This was a great big, why is this starting? I mean, you get the argument where it's like start off hot and keep the night going. But then I felt like a little bit, they set the bar higher than some of the other people that followed them. And I don't know, maybe this should have been the end of the show and not, and I get it why, but I would put, even with it being a triple threat, I would have put it in the main event. But certainly if that's where the rivalry is and Bianca and Rhea is like a thing, then definitely I would watch that match. I would take time out of my schedule to watch that match, addition to this, just having seen tonight's, because nice. I mean, nicely done, ladies. Like, they, regardless of where they were on the card, they nailed it.
They did. I said, if you want to be the main event, wrestle like you deserve to be there. And they did it. I expected them to deliver, and they did that. And then some. I was blown away. I love a hot crowd, and they were eating everything up. They loved everyone. Now, when I say they loved everyone, yes, there's booing Bianca, but when Bianca is so great, even those boos went to cheers, because you can't deny greatness. You know, you try to be a hater out of like, I love Rhea more and I love Io more, but Bianca Belair is a special class of athlete and wrestler. And so when she does amazing things, you have to stand up and say, you know what, she did that. And you saw the fans like, I ain't trying to cheer, but at the same time, you can't help yourself because she's that great. And I thought everything about this match was just tremendous. And they went out there and they delivered. And it's very rare at any show that might span promotions that you had 3 different triple threats from NXT, night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania be some of the best triple threats I've ever seen, period. And this match right here, as you said, could have been the match of the weekend, could have easily main evented either night of WrestleMania if the booking says so. And I hope that for future reference, if this is the hottest match you can do, put in the main event. There's no shame in that. Egos can be put aside. If you want to be in the main event, have the story to justify it. I thought they had the story to justify it, but hey, they still delivered at the top of the card.
Yeah, They killed it. They were great. No complaints here. As 100% stamp of approval. Nicely done, ladies. Keep up the good work. Very impressive. Super cool stuff.
Yes, Maria notes that Fernando notes, even though the match was fire, still would have preferred Bianca versus Rhea 1-on-1 tonight. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but clearly they are thinking down the road. We do have events. We have Evolution potentially sometime this summer, possibly SummerSlam, night 1 or 2. There's no excuse or reason why they cannot main event a night at MetLife Stadium. We'll see later on in the summer. And Maria notes, agree this match should have been the main event of night 1, or night 2, I should say, but they had to hand poor Punk his main event he always wanted. Well, there's that as well. They had to, and that match delivered too. So I can't be too mad about it because they basically saved night 1 in some way. And Gray, hello, Gray, knows that all of them as matches were the best part of the show. Hard agree. They carried the weekend. And then Lady B, who is providing presser coverage. John Cena is refusing to answer questions at this presser. I am shocked. I am stunned. He is our do-nothing champion already.
Should I really honestly just say that's because he can't see you? Or just I mean, it was such a layup. Like, I gotta say.
Can he see them?
Nah.
Can he hear them?
I don't know if he can. I think that, I mean, I understand. I started out watching WWE all the way back in the 1900s, the late 1900s. I am that stereotypical late 90s high school college kid playing the Nintendo 64, drinking the Powerades, watching the Stacker 2 commercials. I was there. I have 2 WrestleManias. Like I can dip into wrestling and understand WWE's deal. I can understand when people are enjoying things and when they aren't, and I could see that was something that people are enjoying out of the night 1 situation. So great, awesome. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Butts and seats, happy people, whatever. Like that's cool. I don't know. I would have flipped some things around just if it were me, but it's not. So
I know. If only we had the booking power. And then Lady B says, because she's providing the presser commentary, he basically said, tune in Monday on Netflix. These are clickbait questions. You know,
he's doing the swerve. He's doing the politician thing where he deflects the questions, and he's got that Peacemaker series coming up. He can't afford to say something wrong right now. Piss off the internet.
No, that is true. And Maria shouts out Mel. That's a good one, Mel. That reasoning as to why Cena refuses to answer the hard questions, the important questions that we care about, which is like, okay, there we go, for sure.
Yeah, these guys aren't gonna. They're not gonna. They're used to layups. So if someone deigned to ask them a hard question, it's no, I can't see you. Anyway, it was too obvious. It was like so right there. You just even I am so susceptible to low hanging fruit.
Yes,
not sure. not like MJF level or anything.
Yeah. And that is the lowest fruit that hangs, by the way.
It's like on the ground, but whatever.
Stole my line, on the ground, on the dirt, just doing the most. Run away.
Totally.
Worms are growing there. It's like infestation. Like that is like the lowest hanging fruit you can possibly aim at. And John Cena is right above that, but it's borderline for sure. So
this is what we love. Anyway, yeah.
Let's move on to our next match as we kept the night 2 train rolling with Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. So I thought to myself, good luck, guys, topping the opening match of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But they went out there and said bet, and they delivered a very fun street fight. And Drew McIntyre, you know what, dude? You just casually reminded me how agile you are. Just flip dive off the top rope out of nowhere. wiping out Damian Priest. Like, dude, I was like, Drew. Like, I know the guy has hops, but seeing that rotation and the air he got and the execution, it just reminds me that he is truly a freak of nature in the best possible way.
He surprised me. It's like, oh, that's right. He can wrestle. I did not expect that spot. I thought he'd play it a little safe because that's what I've seen him do recently when I popped in. He did not play it safe at all. He showed up for WrestleMania. This was a surprisingly good match. For having to follow that women's match, which you don't say those words very often, but we're increasing. It was nice. They did a good job. They actually kept the show going. Like they really, good vibe. The way better vibe in the building. It just felt better. It's just looser. I don't know.
Crowd was hype. Michael noted that weather was a bit warmer in the building that night. So maybe you know how cold temperatures affect people sometimes.
True.
Even if it's mild in Las Vegas, it affects your mood a little bit. Air conditioning could be a factor too. Like, let's get some air circulating up in here. Let's have a better time. But I thought that both guys rose to the occasion. I love their entrances, especially Priest with the guitar guy shredding. Like, love that. Listen, Def Rebel has questionable taste in theme songs, don't get me wrong, but that added guitar element, the shredding, definitely enhanced the presentation of the theme song and the fire. I dug that. And Priest, you know, he always rises to the occasion in these grudge matches, hardcore style matches. And that table bump he took on the floor was incredible. Came back, tried to win the match, raised his edge to Drew through a table as well. But then Drew basically wipes him out with a Claymore onto a steel chair to get the victory. And you do hear this reaction from the fans that now they kind of want to cheer for Drew McIntyre because listen, guys, I'm putting on work on the mic, on the internet, in the ring over the last year or so, especially during his feud with CM Punk. So I think if they listen to the people, that Drew is due for a baby face run, and I think it's deserved. And I just go back to where we were 5 years ago when this guy won his championship against Redacted in a building with no people there at WrestleMania during the peak of the pandemic, to see where he is now, possibly being on this great run, being beloved by the people, especially after his feud with Punk last year.
And he got a ton of, I mean, I know Priest is just like got like a gamer vibe and that's his whole thing. Drew really stood out. This is more in keeping with like the Drew McIntyre I remember from sort of pre-pandemic when I was like still subscribed to the WWE Network type of stuff where it's younger, but yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy to see him doing well and having that spot on that card. It was a really solid match for both of them. And I don't know Priest as well, so it was like, oh, cool. Like, this is fun. This is a really good match. Overall, happy. Again, continuing on the thing. This had more of like, I don't usually like fatal 4-ways and 3-ways and, triple threats and stuff like that. They did a really nice job with them today. And I know that that's WWE's, they should be doing a good job because they know how to do this. They wrote the book on it. But sometimes they don't, and they did. Like, they really did.
They did, and they handled it well, and I thought that both guys rose to the occasion, delivered a very fun match. And Maria states, this was an excellent grudge match. Yes, it was. Fernando comes through noting, very happy Drew won. He normally loses these blood feuds. He does. He does, then. Unless it's against Sheamus, and normally it's a draw sometimes with him. But he did win at WrestleMania, and he did not cost himself the victory, which was very nice to see. So overall, I enjoyed the match. Lots of fun, physical, and Drew got the W. And this might lead to a babyface run down the road. Let's see if
I would like that for him.
Me too.
Think that he certainly, I mean, he seems very over with your people here. So I'm just listening to the crowd, man. Everyone is very hyped for him.
Yeah, that's what I want. Listen to the people. If he's over, push him. If he's a babyface, push him. Don't fight it, because apparently they want to love him now, which is obvious. Look at him. He's a big, lovable badass. Just push him as such.
They have holes in their situation with like storylines, right? Coming up. So, I mean, there you go. There's your guy. There's a guy to plug in.
Yes. Hello, Stephen Conway coming through tonight, noting they didn't overuse the weapons, which helped a lot. Definitely, it was not overuse of the garbage in terms of the weapons and toolery in the match, which I appreciated. Less is more.
That's a great point. I didn't think about it until you just said it, but there were way less gimmick stuff in this, even the whole weekend, but particularly tonight than I'm used to from. I mean, I might even consider watching a after WrestleMania show kind of deal. Like, I'm just to curiously like follow up on some of it. It's like, oh, okay, you guys got some really cool stuff going on here. It's very, very fun. So, if you're trying to get people that are like the watch during the pay-per-view people back to watching the weekly shows, especially with the new deal, I think that this helped.
Yeah. I think it was a nice like precursor, like, okay, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we ball out. Fans are hot. Love a hot crowd. Gets me excited and amped up for all things WrestleMania. I cannot lie. And then we get to match 3. And I think that after match 3 and after match 4, we started to say, you know what? We have reached our WrestleMania peak for the evening and for the year. So our next match was a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. It was our champion, Badass Bron Breakker versus Penta versus Finn Bálor versus Dirty Dominik Mysterio. Now, I had a feeling this was going to be Dominik Mysterio's night. I kind of called this the last couple of years that when he turned heel, I said, this is going to set him up for a babyface run because the people are going to start catching on that Dirty Dom is kind of great. And I was shot down by Scott saying this ain't going to happen this year, next year, the year after next. I said within the next year, these fans are going to love Dominik Mysterio. I felt the tension between him and Finn heading into WrestleMania, and the fans are being way more supportive and sympathetic towards Dom. And in this match, we saw some great moments, including Carlito dying via a spear from Bron Breakker again. Prayers to him. A second funeral is being planned.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Get the roses up.
Good thing you did it on Resurrection Day. Am I right?
Oh my gosh.
Praise it.
Will Carlito rise on the third day? I don't know. But I know he went down. He was never seen or heard from again after that spear through the dealer's table at WrestleMania. And then after that, it was about Dominik going after Finn, taking advantage, 619. Then he gets stopped by Finn again. And then when we have the match handled with Breakker and Penta doing work, we have Dirty Dom flying out of nowhere, frog splash, pins Finn to become the new Intercontinental champion. And I had heard the rumbles of the building, the stadium shaking with the fans going crazy for Dominik winning. And I felt it. They popped and I called it. This guy's a babyface. He's a babyface. It's a wrap. Like, I called it. I knew it was going to happen. I'm very happy for him. And I kind of had a feeling this was Dom's night.
I saw some of the beginning of this story, and now I'm seeing kind of the end of it. And it's very interesting to me because it was, I don't know, even walking into it, it seemed very straightforward to me that it was going to be him. Just seemed very much like, oh, okay, this is Dom's like tier. This is his level up to the next level match, clearly. And I mean, that building nearly blew the freaking roof off when he won. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, even if you didn't like the match very much, the ending result was clearly for the fans, 100%. They were very, very stoked. And I'm a little sad that you don't get to take your victory lap tonight, that you're going to have to wait until your next show to really stick it to Scott on that one. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, I'm going to have such a great time on Tuesday night recording the show for Wednesday morning. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to say, I told you so. Run the tape, run the audio, go back in the archives, find what I said. I called it. I predicted it. I prophesized this. I knew it. From the moment he turned heel, I said, this is going to set up a baby face turn in 2 years. And I was correct.
Doesn't it feel nice to be vindicated in the best way possible?
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm happy about it. And Maria notes that Finn Bálor and Liv are going to join forces and turn on Dom and kick him out of Judgment Day. Now, also, I thought about that too a year ago, Maria, when this all started with Rhea and Dominik. I said that Finn and Liv had a thing going on and they would ultimately double cross Dom. To get that payoff a year later, double vindication for me. Yeah. Double.
Oh man, I guess there's a ball game going on Tuesday night because Tequila's going to be doing some dunking.
Listen, even though it's been delayed,
I had take your laps when you can, man.
I do. I had a feeling, even though like it was Liv and Dom and they swerved me at SummerSlam last year, I had a feeling that Finn and Liv had a thing going on the side. I felt like it was a long-term storyline of like more twists to come. And if I'm right about that, then that really speaks to how well the story is being told, because that's how you should tell the story.
Oh my God, long-term booking. What?
Yeah. What a concept.
Get that H out of here. You're just blowing my mind.
I know. It's amazing. So Fernando asks a question. How long do you think it would take for babyface Dom and Rey Mysterio reunite? Ooh.
Yeah, it took them a long time to break up, right?
Yeah, it took them a while to break up. I would say it can't be immediate. Give it time. But when it happens, it'll be beautiful. Well, because wrestling is a love story. We've heard that many times before.
I think that it would be better anyway. Do it like around Father's Day, like next year or something.
Mel says, let's book this a year out. We don't need them to reconcile just yet. Let's do it for Father's Day next year. In fact, let's book Money in the Bank on Father's Day next June and then have them reunite at this show.
I figured if I aim for a month, there's bound to be a pay-per-view somewhere in the range. Or a premium live event somewhere in the range of that.
Yeah, like let's give it a year. It shouldn't be like an easy reconciliation. It should be worth the wait, and fans are going to pop for the reunion. And I think it's well overdue. And also, like, the story would be Dominik earning the mask from his father. Like, that would be the next progression of Dirty Dom wearing his father's mask.
Hey, family trauma takes years to heal, okay? I'm only asking for a year.
At least you're not asking for 5, because that would have been
decades
wild.
Or something, or a lifetime. I'm asking for one, like, not even the calendar year, basically. I mean, just they could do it a little sooner.
Listen, look how long it's taking for Roman and Seth to reconcile.
Just right.
They want to reconcile to the Hall of Fame ceremony in 2035.
I'm not talking to you right anymore. Can you please tell Seth that I am not talking to him right now? Sorry, that's just how I picture things sometimes. I've worked with people backstage in theater, and wrestlers seem very similar. So,
Mox, tell Seth I'm not talking to him right now.
Right now, exactly. I'm standing right here.
We're done.
It was nice to have that Mox reference, so it was really funny because, you know, I always love it anytime that they even name drop him. It's like, oh, he must be coming back to WWE. Like,
yes, it's like the longest storyline that it's never going to happen anytime soon. Like, nice. It's not going to happen, but it's like it's long-term storytelling for them because like Mox is doing curb stomps on Dynamite and pay-per-views, and you're thinking like, okay, is Seth going to show up one day? Will Mox return home? Yeah, maybe in 5 years, maybe. If the price is right.
Yeah, right. Once he's like retired and he needs to pay for Norris College and all that jazz.
You know, because college is not going to pay for itself. If you want to do one for the road, one shoot reunion to say goodbye, that is the way to do it. And that is the perfect way to cap this off. 20 years worth of build, folks.
There you go. See? And then they can claim that they were planning it the whole time and no one will be the wiser because WWE.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. Because Paul Levesque is responsible for all of this.
What is that thing that Paul Levesque says? Is what we do.
That's right.
We do.
Then now forever, Keila, okay?
Yes. It's what we do. We tell stories. We're storytellers, and it's long term, and it's what we do.
And our fans, as according to the pre-show yesterday, have no drama. They're very low drama people.
Low drama. What I said last week about fuck them in their feelings, I didn't mean it. You know, I didn't say shut up and just watch the show.
You would never
mean
say
that.
something like that and mean it.
No, it wasn't like I went on Pat McAfee's show and backtracked and tried to clean it up after I went off, the day before.
My backpedaler's broken. Oops. Hate when that happens.
Because that is what we do. It's what we do. All right. So our next match after Dominik reached the pinnacle in his industry after a long fought battle, it was Randy Orton versus a mystery opponent. Now, a lot of fans thought, who could this possibly be? Could it be a returning Rusev? And I said to myself, y'all really think the Rusev going to show up at a random WrestleMania and lose in his first match back? That is not going to happen. So we got to find somebody comparable that can lose and not lose his heat at the same time. Mm-hmm. So we awaited this entrance. We awaited this opponent. And I did not have this on my bingo card, that it would be TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry answering the call. The fans go crazy. They pop for him.
Got my Howdy's for Hendry shirt on here.
Look at you.
Give a little shout out here. It was a perfect night for Mel to be watching. Get me a Joe Hendry sighting. Sam and I have been saying his name for a long time, and he appeared just this night. So
he appeared out of nowhere. It was a special moment. Cool. Mel had the shirt ready to go. I was very happy for him. And he being on the main stage of WrestleMania was wild to me. It was like the timeline is glitched. You have a TNA World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania. And it's like he's in this moment with Randy, has a couple of hope spots. But then when he hits the pose, Randy says, "Blat!" RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, gets the W at his 20th WrestleMania. And then he tries to pull up Joe, like, good job, Joe. Great to have you here. You're a good guy, Joe. Let's just shake hands. Let me hold your hand up in victory, even though you lost. And then he hits Joe with a second RKO to say psych. And I'm like, you know what? I thought this was fun. It was just a fun WrestleMania moment. And then Joe Hendry gets that moment in front of 60,000 fans, legit. By far the biggest audience he's ever performed in front of. And it's memorable. And it's a clear sign that WWE will love to sign him one day to a contract exclusively with WWE.
Yeah, I was impressed with, I know a lot of people were like, oh, this and that, but no, this is exactly the kind of showcase that you want for a guy like that. You don't want to push someone too fast. He's got he's got the song and he's got the stuff that he's got and he is talented, but do it slow. Don't do it too quick because, I mean, he had a huge appearance with a veteran wrestler from back. I mean, we were making jokes about, the aughts call. Like I've been watching, or we were joking about how we've been watching Randy Orton together since the aughts. Like, oh, look at that. He's still here. He's still doing his thing. And then Joe Hendry, he's with a veteran. It's in a great spot. It was apparently this was not what anyone was telling me when I was asking around. Even this morning on our show, I was asking Sam, like, give me the skinny on these things. And even the prevailing wisdom was Rusev. So I was super hyped because I already dig that guy. I think he's ready when he's ready. And why would you not want that on your show that's got all kinds of cred behind it? Clearly the audience was aware of who he was. And the people who aren't will get to know him now because he was on WrestleMania and he can put that on his 8 gajillion followers to YouTube himself too. And that's a lot more people that are checking out both promotions because looks like WWE is trying to clearly do some work with other promotions, they're working with TNA and stuff, so use their talent.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the synergy makes sense for sure. So we'll see where it goes. Very fun WrestleMania moment. And you know what? I got to agree with Maria saying congratulations to Joe Hendry, living his dream, having a match at WrestleMania. That is a dream on legit, maybe 2 weeks' notice. That is how you go out there and you perform. Stephen Conway notes, I thought the segment was a home run, and the crowd seemed genuinely happy to see him.
Yeah.
They were. They
did.
loved it. I think they weren't ready for it. I think they had no idea it was going to be him. And just seeing his name and hearing his name when he appears, it was perfect. It was perfect.
It was well done. I'll give them this. That was a like out of left field kind of thing. It was not what it was told to me or to be expected from people. And you nailed it. When you talk about WrestleMania moments, this is the kind of one you want. This felt very organic, not overly manufactured at all. It was a lot of fun. Exposure matters. It doesn't matter if you winning. You don't, guys. Not everyone's going to come out and win on their first run out there.
No,
it's just not a thing. Especially somebody that's newer to the wider WWE audience. It's just not a thing. That rarely happens. You have to have very special ins and an incredible level of talent for that to happen pretty much anywhere, but particularly WWE.
Yes, and that's not an easy thing to do. And to be there in this moment was huge for him. And to get that notice at the very last minute and to be able to provide a surprise and just live out this dream was incredible. And I can assure you, he'll have more WrestleMania moments down the road. He'll get a WrestleMania victory when he signs a contract with WWE. Yeah. I don't doubt that for a second, but it really speaks to the trust level to have him go out there and have a match with Randy Orton on short notice. Have it be fun. Don't overstay its welcome. Don't give you too many hope spots, but just hit the finisher, go home, hit it again, go home, leave the fans happy.
Yeah. Yep. And he didn't make him look a fool. It was just great. It was like just the right amount of everything. Yes. Perfect exhibition of if you don't know, go find out.
Exactly.
Why everyone next to you is singing this song word for word.
Yes. And I'm sure Impact social media was busy saying, oh, by the way, if you want to see Joe Hendry, tune in to Access TV this Thursday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to our next pay-per-view. We got you. You know, they're advertising hard. Slammiversary is coming up, you know.
Heck yeah, man. Let's go. I like it. I liked it. It was fun.
I liked it too. And at this point, I think that WrestleMania had officially peaked. You know, after this, we kind of went down a bit. Our next match was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And you know what? This was a perfectly acceptable professional wrestling match, but it was just a match. It was a match that existed. The fans weren't really into it because what is the story? Because Logan Paul is a very dry character that doesn't get the kind of proper heat you should get. He gets that go away heat. You suck, you're a horrible human being kind of heat, but he's talented in the ring. And AJ Styles is obviously a legend in the game. He's been around the block for a very long time, but his sense of purpose has been missing as of late. And I'm not a big fan of how they kind of curved us a few months ago when they were clearly teasing him and Bron Breakker for the IC title, and then they don't deliver. And I thought to myself, he could have been in that IC title match at WrestleMania tonight, and they didn't do it. And we have this match, and I thought on paper, it should be good. It should be very good, actually. And it was a very good match, but the fans, I think, weren't into it as much. Might have been a pacing issue, in all honesty. And then Karrion Kross comes out there randomly, and then AJ Styles basically refuses help, doesn't want to use the brass knuckles to get the W that enables Logan Paul to hit the punch and the pulverizer for the 1, 2, 3, and the crowd goes mild. And I thought to myself, okay. And then I was on the timeline reading the feedback, obviously, because I want to do a temperature check of everything. And this is a stark truth that needs to be acknowledged, that AJ Styles' best WrestleMania match was in 2017 at WrestleMania 33 against Shane McMahon. And I have to say, that is a fact. Botch, shooting star press and all, that was AJ's best WrestleMania match. It is. And to know that he's been on this roster for nearly 10 years and the WrestleMania matches have been spotty at best, yeah, this man deserves far better at Mania than what he's been given.
That's wild. Just because of his background, that just blows my mind a little bit. But I mean, I don't get the Logan Paul draw personally, but I understand that it is a draw. So I understand that people are into it. And I also understand that he has, for someone who didn't sit around to like go to training school and didn't go to wrestling gym and all these other things, that he's picked up the thing quite a bit. And so I understand like that he's proficient at it. And but that's what it felt. It felt very proficient. This was a very proficient wrestling match. Like, yay. And that bums me out because I remember even NXT or new to AJ Styles kind of jumped straight to the roster, but he had a more impressive run at the beginning. And then I guess, I don't know, that you have to be right because you would have seen more of these WrestleManias than me because I don't remember 17 much. And I do remember that Shooting Star Press and that debacle. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, did they book him a lot on television? Do they use him much? Have they used him since they've had him? It seems spotty at best with the way they were using him at last check.
Yeah, injuries have played a factor. Wow, that he's been too on and off television as of late. So like whatever push he was going to get, it was derailed a little bit. And then when he first came back on Monday Night Raw, I love the chemistry between him and Bron Breakker, and they just pivoted. And I thought to myself, why? And I remember having a conversation on the Rapid Scott, like I hated the pivot of what they were going to do at WrestleMania. I talked to Sam about this as well, that you went from what I wanted to see with Bron and AJ to AJ and Logan Paul, which I did not understand. Oh. And I was like, why? Because if we was going to do like a multi-man match at WrestleMania, you could have thrown AJ and Logan Paul in that IC title match and called it a day. And as someone suggested, put Chelsea Green on the WrestleMania card instead. If we were going to be fair and spread the wealth around, that's what I would have done. And then Steven makes a good point. AJ Styles is great, but he just feels like he's from a different era now. Yeah. I can't put my finger on it, but he doesn't feel like he is of this time. And I'm beginning to sense that as well. Like he is someone that was special in WWE for a long time, that he was phenomenal and that he basically cleared every hurdle that we thought that he was going to be held back on. No championship run. He'll be slotted in a certain position. He wouldn't main event shows. He wouldn't be the guy. For a time, he was the guy. For a time, he was that dude. And then that time ended. And I think he's been in a stasis for the last couple of years. And Maria knows as well. I'm sorry, but AJ Styles needs to not resign and go to AEW. Losing to Logan is a disgrace. And if the rumors are true and AJ's time is almost up in WWE, I think he should leave, because I think that he has accomplished every goal there is to accomplish in WWE. Definitely. You were a multi-time champion. You fought the very best and you exceeded expectations. You weren't booked to oblivion. You were booked strongly for a long time. But I do think this cycle in WWE has run its course. And that's okay. I just think he needs to end his career somewhere else we could actually get some fulfillment with the work he's doing.
Yeah, and that makes sense, I guess, to wrap his career up. Excuse me. To wrap his career up somewhere where it's a little more technical, a little more like indie style. I mean, maybe AEW is the place, maybe not. Maybe ROH has place for him and on his way out as maybe something. He doesn't feel like his heart's in it, certainly. I mean, I didn't get that the old school AJ Styles that I remember from his earlier times in WWE. It was not reflected in this guy at all. It's like, this is not even remotely that guy. So, I mean, just looking at it strictly from like where that guy was versus where this guy is, but many people, I mean, it's so hard to maintain like relevance in the business, let alone your body and the style of wrestling you work. So yeah, sometimes people just, their time plays out in that particular thing. And I don't think he wouldn't be appreciated somewhere like ROH or AEW, because that they would love that. And maybe that's a great spot for him to be. But I don't think they're doing him any favors doing this sort of thing. And if they're not going to give him if they haven't been booking him well, and they're not going to, they've got all these new people on their roster. They, like Steven said, like it may be from enough, and maybe another time. You say it's played out. He says it's from another time. He doesn't look like his heart's in it to me. So that kind of sounds like time to press on. I mean, Cody's the one who always talks about, his dad was the one who said it's time to move on to a new territory or whatever, how, misquoting it, but this territory's played out. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it for him.
Well said. I think that he has run his course with this territory. I think that's the best phrase to use. And when you say that his heart isn't in it, I do sense that too. That is clock in, clock out, get the check, go home. And if that's the way you approach your work, and I'm not blaming you for that, but I think it's time to go somewhere else. There are options for you. Maybe you want to do some New Japan one more time. Maybe you want to go to AEW. Maybe you want to go to Ring of Honor. Maybe you do want to moonlight in TNA one more time to have a full circle moment. It's up to AJ Styles to find that fulfillment, because he does have a lot left in the tank. I can tell he can still go at a very high level, but it's like it's half break. Not fully into what he's doing, which I get, but I think that it is time to possibly explore greener pastures. He's made a lot of money in WWE, but money does not always equal happiness and fulfillment and what you really want to do. If you want to be with your friends, be with your friends.
Yeah, right. Of course. Especially him. I mean, like, they wouldn't welcome him with open arms over at AEW. I mean, but maybe and you just said it though too. I mean, maybe he's made enough money, and maybe he's not ready. Like, maybe he does have that. Maybe he doesn't want to go on. But if he does, maybe a new place is just what he needs, because that may relight the spark. Like, maybe the pilot's just out and needs to be lit somewhere else. Like, it's just, I guess, what he wants. I hope he does what makes him happy, and I hope he gets paid. But I hope that there's not more of this, because it kind of bums me out a little as someone who was a pretty big AJ Styles fan for a long time. So
yeah, I mean, the guy's theme song is my ringtone. It's been that way since his debut back in 2016. Like, I'm ride or die all day, and I want the guy to be happy. And it just feels like right now is just like, I ain't happy, but I'm coasting. I'm here to do my job and go home. But I just want him to be fulfilled where he wants to be. And if it's not in WWE anymore, like I said, you lived this dream for 9 good years and you cleared every expectation with that old grouchy ass man there. And if you can survive that kind of booking in hell, child,
seriously,
be free. When you actually won that grouchy old man over, when you accomplish that goal in life, congratulations. Because I thought he wasn't going to do it, truthfully.
I mean, it was dodgy there. Like, really?
It was touch and go. It was. Call that man a whole bulldog. Like, my confidence level was shot.
It took all of the voices of the WWE universe loving that guy to death, and a lot of luck. Somebody really rolled a 20 on that one that day. Like,
the John Cena stamp of approval. Yeah. Like, I love working with this guy. Push him, please.
Oh, yeah.
So that helped as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's always going to get Big Vince to blink. So,
yeah,
a little, at least. Yeah. Okay, fine. I might pretend that I'm listening.
I might push him a little bit. Damn it! I can acknowledge somewhat greatness. Why not? Yeah. So
game of push.
For sure. Like as Fernando stated, as Fernando stated, agreed. Like, he was surprised AJ Styles became world champion in WWE. So was I. I mean, got the championship, carried it for a minute. Hey, he out-punted his coverage in WWE, and I can't be too mad about that. But now it's time to possibly spread your wings in your twilight years and fulfill your dreams elsewhere and be happy about it. And that's all I can
Yeah.
say.
I mean, he could totally like do some casual time and do some cons and hey, do whatever you want, man. Do
Yeah,
what makes you happy.
that's the point. And that's the reason and the purpose of it all. And hopefully he gets to do that wherever he chooses to go in his career. As we now get to our semi-main event of the evening, and I do have thoughts. It was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions versus the Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria versus a mystery partner after Bayley was shadow attacked backstage during WrestleMania Night 1 the day before. And Adam Pearce basically told her, you got 24 hours to find yourself a tag team partner or else. And so we kind of heard the rumors and the rumblings that it was going to be Becky Lynch. It took me 2 seconds to figure that out. And then sure enough,
I know, even I.
Process of elimination.
I mean, social media kind of gave it away like the day before.
Yeah, it took me 2 seconds to really pause and think about it. I said, oh, it's definitely Becky. And then for sure it was Becky. And she gets a great ovation. She's over. And the match is fine. It's very Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Comes back, she hits her spots, and then she pins Liv with the manhandle slam to become the new women's tag team champions. And they will go to NXT this Tuesday at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Las Vegas to face off against Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. And historically, Becky has moved numbers for NXT to near 1 million or more. So I expect that on Tuesday, potentially, as we wrap up WrestleMania weekend. But I have to say that I feel for Bayley, and I don't care if this was the plan for weeks, that you basically took her off this card and you could have had her against Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne has been tolling around on NXT for weeks by doing very little and being thrown in storylines when she's clearly outgrown the place at this point. Could have had a match at WrestleMania. They chose not to do that. And I'm trying to be fair and I'm trying to be reasonable about this because I do see the discourse. I do see the nicknames for Becky Lynch, calling her Becky Hogan. I don't agree with that. But what I will say is that I will say, and I'm going to be very honest, is that if they don't explain the Bayley of it all, and that there's not going to be a payoff to this, whether Liv attacked Bayley or maybe Becky attacked Bayley or maybe Bayley set up the attack herself. But whatever this is, there needs to be a good payoff. Maybe Roxanne attacked Bayley. I don't know. But there needs to be a payoff to this to justify what happened tonight. Yes, great moment, great pop. We're going to move a number for NXT on Tuesday, but I don't want Bayley being left behind in this because I think that's not right. And I'm trying not to issue or hurl out accusations about, are you trying to big time people? But if there is not a payoff and everybody doesn't benefit from this, then I will have a problem.
Yeah, when I spoke with Sam this morning and she explained to me the situation with Bayley and not really getting to be on that many, if any. I mean, how many WrestleManias has she done?
Very few.
Not
many.
Enough. Not nearly enough compared to what. I mean, I love Bayley, so I'm a hugger. I just loved Bayley. She was and even when she went heel, I've enjoyed it. I think she's done a lot with what she's been given, and I don't think it's fair. And then when it was the way and I mean, you're essentially confirming what was essentially put out there to me, which is that Becky kind of got, or not Becky, but Bayley got screwed out of her WrestleMania moment this year because Becky came back. And I hope that's not all there is to it, because that would be really shitty. And I like Becky, or I like Bayley a lot. And I think there's a million other ways you can bring Becky back without messing around with that. I mean, it would seem to me with all the women in the division, both NXT and WWE, there must be somebody else that could have gotten like taken off of that or moved around for that to have a big, why not have her and Becky go after it? I don't know. Something like that even.
Yeah. Free up Lyra to defend her title in a singles match at WrestleMania. How about that?
Oh,
If you're
what
going to
an
do that
idea.
as an
You mean have a
option.
champion defend her belt at a WrestleMania event? What are you talking about?
Yes. I mean, like, what a concept. And, Maria, let me go to Maria comment. Let me go to Maria's comment first, noting that I hate to sound like a broken record, but if they knew Becky was coming back, why not book Becky versus Lyra versus Bayley for the women's IC championship?
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
it does make a lot more sense. I mean,
Yeah.
they have to have. I mean, most of us suspected that she was going to come back anyway because it just seemed obvious. But they had to have known for some period of time. I mean, they must have.
The word on the street is they knew for weeks, and they still did that gauntlet match on SmackDown anyway to have Bayley run the gauntlet with Lyra to get this shot at the tag team titles, knowing they were going to swap her out for Becky at some point. Fernando knows Bayley could have challenged Chelsea Green for the U.S. Women's Championship instead of taking her out of the Mania match. They have 2 nights. How was there no room? That is a question that I ask myself, and I just hope that there is going to be a resolution to this that leaves everybody happy, because right now Bayley was taking off the WrestleMania card, and I think that several people got hosed, from Chelsea Green to Roxanne Perez, because you had options. You had options to have matches on the card for the U.S. Championship. Could have did Roxanne and Bayley one-on-one. There's space on the card to do an 8th match for both nights.
Oh God, yes.
You could have did 8 and 8.
You got 5 hours here, people. 2 nights. Come on.
So if a show ends at 10:45, y'all could end it at 11:15.
Yeah,
you could have.
For something like that. I mean, especially if it's gonna. That wouldn't have taken away from that 15 minutes. Wouldn't have taken away from the entire event. There's plenty of stuff they could have shaved off of night 1 that they could have found room for something with.
Yes. The World Tag Team titles could have been off this show.
Yeah.
That could have been on the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
On Monday Night Raw tonight, actually, versus being on the main WrestleMania card. We could have shuffled some things around. Absolutely. But I just hope that there is a payoff to this.
Me too.
That makes sense to me, because I don't want to have Bayley hosed in the situation, and I don't want Becky getting unnecessary heat. But if this happened and we don't get a proper resolution, I will be side-eyeing you, and I don't want to do that. But at this stage in the game, if Charlotte can get that kind of heat, Becky, you're not exempt either.
Yeah, that's fair. Either. That's a really good point too, because I mean, now you're on top now, so you now are subject to. I mean, the target is on your back, as they say in the sports, but it's bigger when it comes to this kind of thing, because this is the point of contention with Charlotte specifically. So, we know you were hurt, or we know that you were going through a contract negotiation or whatever all else, but it also has that element of, well, Becky showed up and everything we just did for the last 7 months doesn't matter. So, and you don't want that feeling. You want it to be an exciting, good thing that she's back and she's helping people and she's like making the division better and she's continuing to be a positive and not a negative. And yeah, I hope you do get your answers, because that would really stink, that just as someone who's a Bayley fan just in general, and then just to have it be there's a million ways to even like get her knocked off of there that are better than that, or just don't plan it at all, or pick somebody else. I mean,
yeah,
that should be for a younger talent to take that loss. That not a Bayley's been in WWE for a long time and she's been loyal to them. Give that to a young lion, as it were. There's got to be someone younger can take that. And Bayley still gets to be in the thing, and you have Becky come out too, and whatever beef they have has to get quashed, and they have to do a coexist match or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, I hope that happens. I just hope that we get a resolution to everything and that everybody comes out of this looking good, because my concern is that the flack and the pushback could become pretty fierce very fast, and I can't blame people for feeling that way, because if Charlotte can get the smoke, Becky is not exempt. I love Becky too. I love Bayley as well. But at some point, in this life, and in some cases, you are who you hate, and then you become that person. Don't become who you hate. Rise above that. That's all I got to say about that. Match was fine, but we better get a resolution that makes everybody happy at the end of the day very soon.
I hope so.
Yeah. And now it is time for an almost lawsuit that took place.
Oh God, this is crazy.
Stone Cold and his ATV rolling down to the ring at a high rate of speed. And he decides to cut a corner a couple of times, hit the barricade and knock a woman out of her chair. And then he's like, oh shit. So anyway, he gets in the ring, announces the WrestleMania attendance. And for those of you who know how to do mathematics, you know, when you add up numbers together and you say these many people were in the building, I said, pause. 60,000 different people did not go to WrestleMania night 2. These are the same people that bought a ticket for WrestleMania night 2. Who is going to go to night 1 and not go to night 2? That is going to be a very small variance of people that decided, you know what? I don't want to fuck with night 1. I'm only going to night 2 and vice versa. So no, not a combined 100,000 people went to WrestleMania. It was the same people, Stone Cold. Stop lying. And then how you going to say a night was sold out with less people one night and more people the next? Make it make sense.
The scarier part is when you announce a number that's almost 3,000 people more than what you actually have opened up in this building for sale in the first place. There's just a little thing called screenshots of WrestleTix, and I didn't look. Someone else just posted it. I mean, I didn't intentionally look. I think the first thing I learned about wrestling was never take a WWE number seriously, but boy, do they get some Steiner math going on with these double night WrestleManias going. Sure, you sold 3,000 more tickets than you put on sale for both nights.
And okay. One number is higher than the other when they should be exact.
Right. Because
don't say we open up production. Wasn't production opened up the same day? I mean, the other tickets flew off the shelves.
This is a company that's former chairman admitted to a minor accounting error for some issues. So I guess we know where they stand in their spreadsheet land.
Listen, Fernando says they have a long history of cooking the books. And they do. They cook this book pretty well to do that combined number of 100,000 people. They tried it, but who really tried it was not Tony Khan. I'm getting my Khans confused.
It's all right.
It was Nick Khan who was trying to stop a class action lawsuit.
I know, right?
He was like, ma'am, what can we do to fix this? Do we give you lifetime WrestleMania tickets, lifetime front row tickets? What can we do for you? How can we service your on location experience with WWE moving forward? So, you know, he got the phone number, the email address, and the address, the main address to mail her lifetime supply of WrestleMania tickets, deep discount, QR code, coupon code, all of them.
Plus like the 5K he had on him probably.
Yeah, 100%. Cash in hand, right out the pocket. We didn't see that footage. They cut the camera when he put.
No, they flipped over. They were finally smart enough. I can't believe it took the camera crew. This was like a big faux pas in the WWE side. I can't believe it took the camera crew that long before they were like, get the heck out of here and get this like over there. Go look over there. Yeah, we were all watching like, look at Nicky Khan jumping out of his own chair to go take care of that lady.
That man he probably ran a 5'8" over there to that lady to say, listen, what can we do to fix this? He prevented a class action lawsuit, and I'm not mad at him.
No, I understand.
That's great customer service, actually.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be more in charge than the CEO? I mean, you're not getting any higher. You cannot ask to see a manager in this case, Karen.
He says, man on the scene.
Yeah, they're
I
right.
got you. And he probably told Stone Cold, this is the last time you run this ATV out here. You're going to walk next time. Bad knees and all, you're going to walk.
Yep.
You're gonna walk down the ramp.
You want to come out on anything motorized? It's going to be a scooter or a wheelchair. So you decide.
We're gonna put you in a hover round next time. You hear me? That
You
thing
get
gonna
one-
run at
you
10
get one
miles
of
an
those
hour.
Warranties on it.
Yes. Okay. Don't no. We can't do this again.
Never.
And never, ever again. So that was a WrestleMania moment. It was.
Indeed.
As we now get to our main event of the evening, which was Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, versus John Cena. Now, you know, I have many things to say. And I said those things recently regarding The Rock. And I will circle back to him at the end of this show. But John Cena came out there with the blank ass Tron, no graphics, just out there with his towel, going through the motions of just being a bad guy, but he's being cheered. The fans were there to see history. They paid a lot of money to see history. And on this night, Cody Rhodes was the biggest heel in the building. And I want people to understand this is a one-night glitch in the Matrix. Like he is still beloved. But on this night, they wanted to see history and they understood it. And the match itself was solid. It was a classic WrestleMania match of false finishes and near falls that had you on the edge of your seat. The fans are biting for each near fall. They thought, oh, this is the end here. Cena was competent. Rhodes did what he needed to do to keep things together. And then we had Travis Scott come out.
Yeah.
And taking his sweet ass time, making his way down to the ring to get this heat. And thankfully, Cody hit him with a crossroads, kicked him out of the ring, had a couple of ref bumps in the mix as well. And then Cena was basically trying to goad Cody, hey, here's his championship belt. Don't hit me. I was going to hit you, but don't hit me. And then Cody was thinking about, what should I do? I'm the good guy, right? I'm the ultimate hero. I don't take shortcuts. And so when he couldn't do it, John Cena low blowed him, hit him with the championship belt. AA, dub. He is the new WWE Undisputed Champion. He breaks the record. He is now a 17-time world champion. And the show ends with him and Travis Scott standing tall. And I thought to myself, you know what? This was a fine WrestleMania match, but the booking at the end was curious. And I'm going to let Mel take it away before I get my shovel out to go off on Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, I don't have as much inside knowledge. It seemed a little weird. It was a strange finish. I was of the impression from the people I spoke to that Rock was going to get involved somehow. My understanding is Travis Scott has a relationship with him, so he was something of a messenger potentially for Dwayne here. There was a lot of low blows in this match, a lot. I'm not really sure. It was weird because it shifted weirdly when that happened, and I understood that to be a heel moment, but I wasn't fully aware of what the situation is now. I asked Sam if this was something that people wanted, and she told me no, and I don't know if that was like, do you not want it, or does everyone not want it? Or because the crowd, I mean, obviously the member berries were flowing tonight. I'm pretty sure, like you said it. I mean, people were there to see Cena win, so I think that's what the crowd expected. But yeah, I didn't understand. I mean, I guess I didn't understand the finish that well because of maybe I'm just missing a couple of pieces. It's not like I can't read up on it, but it was weird to me. And I don't know. It took Cody a long time to get that belt. I obviously don't think that they're done with Cody, so I would imagine that this will just make Cody stronger, I would think. But that's sort of where I stand with it, is that the ending was kind of like, and okay. But the presupposition that John Cena was winning seemed universal to me, so I wasn't shocked.
I wasn't shocked either. I expected it. Number 17 was coming. You got a story to tell. It enhances the retirement tour. I'm not mad at what happened, but I got things to say. And Fernando notes this was a solid match, but the finish was very anticlimactic. I will agree. Maria notes this match ended kind of abruptly, expect a little bit more. And then Fernando says Triple H learned from his father-in-law about overbooking these Mania main events. And I have to say that you're not wrong there. But let's get to the culprit. Let's get to the main instigator. Let's talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because something has to give. And Nick Khan, if you was able to jump out of your seat to stop a lawsuit, I won't need you to step out of your seat as president of this company and put your foot down when it comes to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being on the board of TKO. Because at the beginning of this year, The Rock appeared on Netflix first Monday Night Raw and basically said, what we're not going to do is anything at WrestleMania involving Cody Rhodes and my cousin Roman Reigns. He is the tribal chief. Fine. Cody is a WWE champion. Fine. And then I just want y'all to go on this journey and enjoy it. Go on this road with us, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care, because you try to have your cake and eat it too. At Elimination Chamber, you pop back up trying to do a story with Cody about selling his soul to you so you can feel empowered to have a corporate champion. And then the story goes to John Cena, and then Cena never mentions you by name again. And then you are not seen anymore between now and WrestleMania. And you basically lie on your IG saying that I'm going to be there. Don't worry about it, but you're not there. So legitimately, you was in Hawaii tonight sipping Terramana, and that's fine. But what we're not going to do is have you basically drop by when it's convenient for you, do a story, and leave. You can't do that anymore. If you're not going to be a part of WrestleMania, don't be a part of WrestleMania. Don't dip your toe in and not dive your feet in wholeheartedly. If you don't have the time to do it, don't do it. Stop fucking with WrestleMania plans. Leave Paul Levesque's booking alone. Let him book his shows, because now I can understand his frustration of you basically fucked up everything I try to do at this WrestleMania, because I don't know what the fuck you want to do, because I'm basically on your beck and call deciding what you want to do for these WrestleManias. So that needs to stop. Whoever is the main person on that board, you need to tell Dwayne to shut the fuck up and tell him to stay home if he's not going to commit to anything WrestleMania related. Stop trying to run the show if you're not going to be there. Plain and simple. I have had enough. Last year taught you one lesson of what you couldn't do, and that was run over everything because people wanted Cody to main event WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, and you got your face tight when you could not have your way. And so when you can't have your way again, you can't keep teasing what you're going to do. No. Put your ego aside and think about the business, because I'm sure that Paul is frustrated because he knows his WrestleMania was imperfect. He knew it wasn't what it was supposed to be. There were moments of this show being great, and there were moments of this show being shit because of the booking. But ultimately, I'm looking at Dwayne. I'm looking at Nick Khan. Take the keys back. Because you're on the board does not give you unlimited power to do whatever the fuck you want to do, because this business is not ran by you. Period. I don't care who you are and how long you've been around the block. I respect everything The Rock has done. He was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. But as a man, now, in this day and age, my respect level is very low because you are deliberately fucking with this product and you need to stop.
I did not understand that I forget that he's on the board, and I didn't realize that he had that much say in this situation. So that is just dumb. And with the history of his last few years have not been spectacular. And I am in the camp of The Rock peaked. His day has come. It's played out. Especially with the way that, it was already told to us by people that worked with him in Hollywood that he was not a cool person to work with. I think that was overwhelming. His reaction to the reaction of comic book nerds, reacting the way comic book nerds do to the Black Adam situation, was just showed a fundamental misunderstanding of that community alone, and didn't buy him any brownie points. And there's a lot of crossover there, as I think your co-host will attest to. And if that's him, if that's like the reason that they didn't stick the landing tonight was because of something Dwayne Johnson had to do with, and all of that shenanigans that was with the guy that wrote the theme song for the whole Mania event, just being part of that, being like, then yes, I endorse what you just said, because why does he have any say at all? And of all the people at this juncture, you're not getting paid to be a board member. You kind of can't get paid to be a board member. It's kind of a voluntary deal. I mean, you can get paid to have a function inside the company that isn't a conflict of interest with your membership, but you can't be booking the product.
Yeah. Jeremy's popping in to offer his take. Main event was shit. I am validated of our Elimination Chamber review where John the heel is mid. Haters will never apologize to Meltzer, but he was right. And, you know, in the moment, the heel turn was great. But I think that Cena overestimated his popularity and he tried to lean in one direction, pull back, thankfully, by going surgical on Cody. And it worked because look at the crowd reaction tonight. They wanted you to win the 17th chip and you got it. And, you know, it's crazy that Fernando notes that The Rock is becoming Hogan.
That's terrible.
When it comes to backstage politics. Shaking my head. It is. That's actually
not what I want to hear at all, because I know that story. I've read that book.
We know the story. We read the chapters in that book, and it's not pleasant. Yikes. And we need to nip this in the bud, effective now, heading into next year's WrestleMania.
That's the kind of stuff that set wrestling back, period. Nobody wants that.
It's the kind of thing that would derail the momentum this company's on.
Which would suck because, I mean, for better or worse, I've said this the whole time, WWE has benefited a great deal from AEW's existence because the product has improved for the first time in a really long time. Like, there's been a lot of good coming out of there because competition. It's bad enough with some of the other things that have taken place over the last week. Like, we still need that healthy competition that needs to be there. And that includes seeing some really good things go on WWE again. It's not like I don't want to dislike the product. It's what I started on. It's just not been something I've enjoyed. And if he has a part in playing that, then, I mean, if he has a part to play in making wrestling worse in any way, then I'm with you. He can go F himself.
Yeah.
He can literally F all the way off and then keep going. And then when you get as far as you can go, just keep going a little further. Just until you don't run into anything anymore. But just stay there. Don't come back.
Yeah.
That's
Jeremy.
Stupid.
It is. Jeremy comes to again saying the scene had one promo in the chamber for this feud, but it had 4 more promos to make. Yeah, he did. And the first one I did not love. The second one was a little bit better than after that. He hit the stride, but like I said, ultimately the fans wanted number 17. So he swayed them despite being a heel. And good for you. But the story of the why you sold your soul is the missing plot point for me because someone decided not to show up to tell the story when it counted most. And that goes on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And as we said before, this company has been thriving for the last 3 years. And when they thrive, the industry thrives because it makes AEW better. It makes every promotion step up. It creates healthy competition. We know that things are being monopolized right now with the acquisition of AAA. I get it. But WWE for the last few years constantly gave the fans what they wanted. It was, we're servicing our fans. We're giving them what they want. And this past week, we had Paul Levesque be combative with fans. And I think that's because of what's been happening behind the scenes. That you need somebody to go after. You can't do it to Dwayne's. You got to pick us. We're the easy target. So you need to get mad at the person you need to get mad at. And
that's their favorite target anyway, is the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's Jim's joke forever. I mean, you know, it's because of the fans. That's their fallback, blaming you guys. You just don't understand. You don't understand long-term booking. I mean, both promoters, like all the promoters are guilty of that in their own ways, but certainly that's unfortunate. That's a real, it doesn't surprise me because of the behavior that he's shown over the last few years. This is not a guy that's in the camp of like, let's put the next generation over, which sucks. And I hate that but if that's true, then go away because you're not helping anybody. And there's way too many good people in the like talented and veterans that are willing to do that like, but I don't know. It's just Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel are money guys, and money. That's what they did this for. They did it for the money. They didn't necessarily do it to please people. And they did get the WWE fans to drink the Kool-Aid on this. For even though I think a lot of people would argue that like they missed their window for Cena to do a turn, and if they were going to do it, they needed to commit to it long term. And if The Rock was going to be a part of it, didn't he cut that like "I Want Your Soul" promo?
Yeah,
and that was like that was like the only promo he cut, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, after Elimination Chamber, never to be seen or heard from again. And then Fernando knows. So let's not forget, The Rock wanted Cody to turn heel, and Cody said no. That was the original story. And then my question becomes, where were you going to be at if Cody turned heel? Where were you?
I mean, if he blew off last year and he blows off this year, why do I have any reason to believe it would be any different for Cody than it would be for...
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it just in terms of evidence that I have before me, empirically speaking, I'm going strictly on what I have to go on. You keep blowing me off. You also have been accused of having a history of blowing people off at your other jobs too. So, pattern much?
You know that thing that I said earlier about you are who you hate?
Yeah.
And you become that person.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about Vin Diesel and him being late and him being targeted and he having an ego. And now you're becoming Vin Diesel. Mm-hmm. And then 25 years ago, you talk about Paul Levesque in your book, the first book that you wrote. And, you know, I could read between shade 25 years ago, how you felt about certain people and how you love them. But at the same time, you know, the Triple H was kind of, you know, bulldozing you, trying to pushing you down because he wanted to be on top. And that was healthy competition. But now you are who you hate.
Oh, yeah.
Someone has evolved from that. And now you are becoming the very thing that you shaded 25 years ago. So that's a problem for me. So we need to nip this in the bud. Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, rein Dwayne in.
Yeah.
Rein him in. Because this cannot happen again. He cannot come in when he wants to, pitch ideas that are shit, and then don't come back to follow through. Because people were expecting you tonight and you didn't show up. You were never mentioned again in this storyline because you are the impetus for the storyline of Cena turning heel. He sold his soul for what when you're not present for it? So is Travis Scott your proxy to do your dirty work? That ain't no heat. That's please. So we'll see what they're going to do. We got SummerSlam to look forward to. But all I got to say is that Dwayne, you got to chill, man, because you're about to potentially fuck up this bag that WWE has been building for the last few years. And when you start souring the fan base and they're not going to be eager to buy tickets to your shit and it's already expensive, if they're not going to be doing that at the house, if the houses start not being as plentiful and sold out, that would be the first sign we have hit our peak. Our plateau has arrived. And once that starts, the cool down period happens. And when that happens, that cycle of being up, you're going to be down for 2 or 3 years. Ask AEW all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And do it while, I mean, you're in a downturn for economics right now. Because you're like threatening to do that in an economic downturn. That is a reality, no matter what you're. So, yikes. I mean, just money dictates, like efficiency and money dictates that you kind of have to say no to him at this point.
If the money gets funny, it's a wrap.
I mean, come on, man. Is he gonna pay your like profit margins? the difference? Is Dwayne gonna pay you out of his personal stores for your year over year?
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Hi, David. Glad you're popping in for this very passionate last third of this conversation regarding WrestleMania. And Fernando notes, The Rock hasn't been the same since the Black Adam disaster. No, that is when he was broken as a man at that moment. Yeah. And he went back to WWE for the PR. Let's keep it a buck.
I think he couldn't handle. He had like that Ronda Rousey moment where he lost and he could never recover from it.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference was like Ronda just kind of like went and became a recluse, whereas Rock was like, I'm gonna get a Twitter, and I was like, ooh, you probably should have chosen Ronda's strategy on this one, especially with comics. Like if you're gonna, man, you thought wrestling fans were bad. Like, yeah, you go do what you did in the comics community, and you get about the same or worse reaction. I mean, at least the same. It's, yeah. So I guess you didn't have enough of that on wrestling Twitter, so you wanted to go seek it out on comics Twitter too.
You child and paid for it.
I'm sorry, Brady's a check mark. You just paid to get. There were a couple of I remember seeing those at first, and I was like, "Well, I'm just here for the ratio."
Listen, he got ratioed by DC. I mean, that was the biggest ratio of all. When the studio ratioed him, and James Gunn said, "What we're not going to do is any of this. You can go," and that was it. And that did it for sure. And we've been paying for it ever since.
That's
Jesus, yeah.
It sucks, especially because there was all that time he spent out of wrestling where it was like, oh, I love wrestling so much, and I owe everything to wrestling. It's like, okay, but now you got burned in your personal, so you're coming out and like messing with wrestling. Can you not? Can we not? Or as Sam likes to say, what are we doing here?
Yeah. What are we doing here? That is a good question. And hopefully, like I said, this can be stopped before the train truly leaves the station. Like you got lucky last year at WrestleMania when the fans said this is what we're not going to do. And you pivoted and you became the final boss, and it was great. And you probably got the role of a lifetime via that Martin Scorsese flick that's being filmed soon. But after that, this year, oh no. We can't be doing this again. We got to stop this. But congrats to John Cena for winning number 17. We'll see how the retirement tour goes. He has options. We have Cena versus Punk, Cena versus Orten potentially. So we're going to see where we go from here and how the fans respond. I think Cody will be fine. This is a glitch. The fans winning number 17 and he'll recover. Otherwise, we're going to pay via the Codyverse if y'all fuck this up.
I have to believe you because you know. And I think that Cody's too valuable for this to be anything more than temporary. So
yeah. And I think that people now realize as the haze wears off, this main event was dumb in terms of the ending. Like we cheered for this finish. Okay. Cody, we apologize. We're so sorry. So we'll see how they play it heading into post WrestleMania season. But that is it. So Mel, before we go, as we offer a final rating for WrestleMania Night 2 on a scale from 1 to 10.
I'm going to give this about I'll give it an 8. It's a pretty satisfying night. Like an 8.5, I would say. So.
8.5 is a strong score.
Yeah.
And let's see. Main event let me down, man.
Yeah, it's a real killer.
First 3 matches were bangers. The Orton Henry match was fun. Things kind of took a turn midway through the show. I'm going to give WrestleMania Night 2 7.5. Would have been an 8 if the main event was better.
Yeah.
In terms of the booking and the layout of everything.
I think my score is a little higher because my expectations are a little lower because I didn't have the pre-existing bias of the like whatever long-term or short-term story yet telling had been really like driven into anyone. So I kind of was like, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I probably enjoy it. I think in some ways you enjoy it a little more because you don't get into the trap of like accidentally fantasy booking something in your head. And I think it makes it sometimes a little easier. So
yeah. And then Maria notes Rock keeps trying to step on Cody's moments is returning. He has. And at that point, jelly. And you cannot deny the undeniable. And Cody is that. So God, I just need him to grow up. You're a grown ass man. You're 50 years old. Get out of your midlife crisis. Seth said it. Cody said it. Stop, please. Fernando gives WrestleMania a 9.1 out of 10. Maria gives it an 8. That is more than fair. And with that, that is a wrap for WrestleMania Night 2. I want to thank Mel for staying up late to recap this night and allowing me to get on my soapbox to drag The Rock for 20 minutes.
Hey, man, I love it.
And as always, Mel, where can the people find you on the socials and every Sunday via Power Bombshells with Sam?
We are at Powerbombshells on almost all the socials, and we are available on the Fight Game Media Network that you are watching right now. We are there every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We are live around that time. We're in Wizard time, but and as Keila can attest to, we have a good fun over there. She's one of our official broads, and I do appreciate it's fun hanging out with you and talking WWE. So it's good. I'm glad I finally got a chance to come running on your show. Thank you.
Yes, a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining. Glad to be on Power Bombshells as well when I can. And the crossover is complete. Both Power Bombshells has appeared on the wrap to pitch in for Scott. He greatly appreciates you both for being in the clutch when needed most. And I do want to shout out Fernando as well. Thank you for the kind words. And then Maria, thank you as well. And this is a wrap for WrestleMania season until we do it again next year from New Orleans, Louisiana for WrestleMania 42. Let the good times roll. And let's hope that the booking on that road to WrestleMania will be much better than this and that the bubble has not burst. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you as always. Got the NWAT as well. And I'll be on the lookout for those territories as always. So until we're back on Wednesday morning, recapping the night after WrestleMania for Monday Night Raw and, of course, NXT, Scott be back then. And he'll probably talk about the main event if he shares my sentiments of Dwayne needing to fuck off. But until then, for myself and for Mel, that is a wrap for all things WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Until Wednesday, enjoy the night after tonight and Tuesday and Friday. Until then, take care and bye-bye.